morning and welcome everybody to your morning daily cybersecurity threat briefing, also called First Things First, sponsored by Barricade Cyber Solutions, your partner for incident response, ransomware protection, and business recovery. Eric Taylor and the whole group over there, they do fantastic work. Hopefully you never have to call them, but if you're dealing with a massive bad situation, they might be someone good to have on speed dial. If you're, watching on replay, guys, that clock in the corner, when it gets to 0, we're going to get started. But until then, we're going to do what we always do, have a good time, and welcome everybody in from chat. Good morning, Nibia. Good morning, Justin. How you doing? Ricky, some of you coming over from Jack Scott's stream, Outpost Gray, always doing good work over there. Hey, Thomas, let me know if the background music is too loud for y'all. I do love myself some retro synthwave. Oh, hey, Jess Ben. Good to see you, Dennis. Carrie, always nice. Patrick, welcome, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Thursday. Just had my Citadel class teaching this morning. Had a guest lecturer, a friend of the Simply Cyber community, Charles Finfrock, came down. We all know Charles, right?
I'm a crypto evangelist. I love it, love it, love it.
Classic Charles Finfrock with the crypto evangelist love. How's everybody doing today? Hey there, Jax. Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, Shannon. Jess Bishop. Always nice. Guys, love all the activity in chat. Love seeing you guys on the Discord server. Big news, guys. If you want to jump on the Discord server, here's the link. You just go right in there and drop in. You'll be all up in its business in no time flat. The GRC course is in beta, guys. I've been getting a lot of pings, a lot of hits. It's in beta. I've got 6 of the best beta testers working on it right now. They're dropping all sorts of good tips. Hey, the audio's too low. Hey, maybe you should put a call out right here. How about a quiz question here? Like, guys, I thought the class was great. It's going to be excellent based on all the feedback and content I'm getting. So please stay tuned. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. Is the screen black? Uh-oh. Hopefully you guys are seeing my screen. I'm going to be devastated if you can't see me. Hey, Zach Hill, good to see you up in here. Hey, Base. I've got mod chat up if the mods need to message me anything, always. Oh, Lupe, I'm telling you, the course is going to be good. It's going to be good, Lupe. Again, for those of you who don't know, the GRC course is basically, I'm calling it the GRC Analyst Masterclass. It's designed for anybody with any background to be able to get exposed to all of the facets of the GRC analyst role, security awareness, audit, compliance, risk assessment, and then I rounded out on how to actually get a GRC job. It will be inspired by John Strand, Black Hills Information Security, Anti-Siphon. It will be a pay what you can. So if you are in, financial dire challenge and you're trying to improve your life and you can afford $0 for this training, guess what? Got you covered. If you're in a better situation, you can afford a little bit more. You pay what you can. And that is important to me. And I want this to be inclusive and accessible to everybody because I want to see people win. That's what I want to see. All right, guys. So that's the morning. That's the morning intros and chatter. If you guys want to play along, we're going to be listening to the top stories of the day right now. And I'm going to be giving my professional analysis. If you want to play along, go over to cisoseries.com. David Spark and his group, they always drop great hot takes every single day. It is the background that basically allows First Things First to happen. So we're going to get right in there. Let me just change the music to podcast. Oh, that's not a podcast, guy. There we go.
Cybersecurity headlines.
It's Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. Conti and Trickbot code leaks. We previously covered the pro-Ukrainian member of the Conti ransomware gang who leaked the group's chat logs as a result of Conti's pro-Russian stance. Now a data dump from March 1st, shared by VX Underground, provides older chat logs from 2020 and training materials, as well as source code for Conti Locker v2 and a ransomware decryptor. This decryptor does not appear to be the latest version, however, and will likely not work on its latest victims. It also contains chat logs for the operators of the Trickbot Trojan, as well as some server-side Trickbot source code.
Okay.
API attacks surge in...
Okay, so that's interesting news. This is obviously a development story, guys, where there is a pro-Ukrainian member of the Conti ransomware gang who essentially defected, for lack of a better term, and disclosed tons and tons of data of internal communication, chat logs, etc. I personally haven't gone through this. We saw on Twitter where the Conti Leaks account was posting direct URLs to hyperlinks. Someone shared this with me on LinkedIn or Discord yesterday. Brian Krebs, KrebsOnSecurity.com. If you guys don't know about KrebsOnSecurity.com, go check it out. He's an investigative journalist, focuses on cyber security area mostly. He does excellent work. He has begun analyzing the files that were in that. So I'm really looking forward to his analysis, his report on what's in there. What's important to point out with this particular story as it continues to evolve is that there is a decryptor involved. It does say in the story this doesn't apply to newer variants of the Conti ransomware. But guys, if you get hit with Conti, you're having a bad day. Maybe you take a run at having this decryptor work for you. It's worth a shot. Trickbot source code leaked. That's fine. I guess from an OPSEC perspective for the threat actor group, it's not great to have your source code leaked. But guys, Trickbot has been discovered. Security researchers have reverse engineered it. Not to say that we need the source code, but like we in the community have a pretty good vibe on what Trickbot does and how it does it and who uses it and the TTPs and all this other stuff. So, it's interesting, but the only other thing I could think about the Trickbot is actually thinking about it from a threat actor perspective, where if the source code is leaked, people who may not have the advanced skill to be able to do something with writing their own Trickbot could use the source code as kind of a starting point or a leg up, and then manipulate it, modify it in order to be effective for whatever their operations are. The reason I come up with this idea, we saw this with Mirai Botnet back in, I don't know, like 2000, late 2017, 18, where basically the two authors of Mirai Botnet actually post, like the feds were on him, right? That in law enforcement was looking for him. These two students out of Rutgers, we end up finding out later. So they posted the source code on GitHub, hoping that they would hide in the noise, thinking that there'd be so many other threat actors doing Mirai attacks that they would get hidden in the noise. Obviously, the FBI found them, and Mirai splintered, evolved, and it's still today a hot mess on fire. So that's another potential angle of the source code being leaked for Trickbot.
2021. A new report from Salt Security found that API attack traffic increased 681% last year. While part of this increase was fueled by the overall increase in API traffic last year, attack traffic actually outpaced it. The report found overall APIs per customer increased over 200% to 135 in 2021, while traffic increased 321%. Salt found that part of this increase in attack traffic comes down to how APIs are developed, with most security considerations handled pre-production, while most logic flaw exploits used in attacks are only found once an API has entered production. This is exacerbated by the 34% of companies without an overall API security strategy.
Yeah. So APIs, application programming interfaces, it's basically how Web 2.0 works. It's how we can have cloud systems that allow people to integrate with them. It's, you know what I mean? So this is what APIs are. They're intentionally designed to provide a interface into the application so other software developers can hook in and do things, right? A perfect example of an API call is when you're able to have some alert push a notification to your Discord or Slack channel, right? That with a webhook. This is like a basic API call into Slack or Discord. What they're pointing out here, and this is no shocker to anyone who's been paying attention, is that there has been a significant 600% increase in attacks and security compromises issues with API calls in 2021. Guys, the surface of Web 2 and API calls is blowing up exponentially. And there's a lot of people, guys, I was a software developer at one point in my life, right? Like you write code to write code because you're given requirements and you make them functionally work. Now, granted, that was 20 years ago, but security, I don't want to say it's an afterthought, but when you're doing use case testing, you're testing, here are the inputs. Do I get the expected outputs? Yes, push to production, right? You're not thinking like a hacker where you're like, okay, here are the inputs. Do I get outputs? Yes. Now let me just push like 80,000 wingdings into it. What's the output, right? Like you don't typically think of that. And that's where security researchers, frankly, and bug bounty programs on web application surfaces are hugely valuable for discovering these things before bad guys discover them. I'll just leave it at this, guys. If you're into software development and or penetration testing, offensive security, and you're looking to make a big splash or get paid, frankly, you should be looking at API security or API hacking or API. It's a huge attack surface, and one that companies will frankly pay quite handsomely for because it's their main product. Okay.
Log4Shell is still being used in the wild. Researchers at Barracuda found that while there have been minor changes in attempts to exploit Log4Shell over the past few months, the overall volume has remained relatively constant. The vast majority of these attacks originate from US-based IP addresses, while the remaining 14% come from Japan, Central Europe, and Russia. Most of the exploit attempts come from the Mirai botnet. The report said ransomware gangs aren't significantly exploiting Log4Shell on things like exposed VMware installations, rather using it as an insider threat once a network is already compromised.
Okay, so that's interesting. The horror, like the let's work all weekend, December 17th through December 19th or whatever it was, because Log4Shell is the grossest thing the internet's ever seen. Guys, it's 3 months later. I'm not saying it's not a big deal, but the impact from the expected impact, they did not coincide. It has been less. It sounds like they're saying here in the report that Log4Shell is still out there. So certain organizations have not either identified the vulnerable Log4Shell or have chosen not to patch it for whatever reason. But what's interesting is that the attackers, according to the report, are actually using it for distributed denial of service, botnets, and crypto mining. Again, no surprise there. Simply because I feel like a lot of threat actors their goal and their impact is really around crypto mining and botnets right now, specifically crypto mining, because crypto miners are annoying, but it doesn't I've talked about this on the show before. It doesn't raise to the level of like all hands on deck, fire drill, shut the network down. It's annoying and you don't want to do it, but it's like gnats. Like you're willing to stand outside a little bit longer with gnats until it becomes just annoying. And same with botnets. Like botnets, they're not actively doing anything until you activate them, right? To do something. And even then, I guess if your computer still works, this is an ethical question for folks. If your computer still works and it's using to attack something, or your Nest thermostat is compromised, but it still keeps your room at a nice, cozy 72 degrees, but it's used to like denial of service somebody. Like, I don't want to say, do you care, but what is the impact to you? People are inherently, I don't want to say selfish, but it's like, if there's no impact to you or very minimal impact to you, are you going to make the effort, take the time to fix it? And, so it's interesting. It's interesting that Log4Shell is still out there. It's not surprising, but it's interesting.
Updates on the tech response to the war in Ukraine. Meta President of Global Affairs Nick Clegg said Instagram will let users in Ukraine and Russia switch to encrypted messaging, something already available in WhatsApp and Messenger. Clegg also said Meta will demote posts with links to Russian state media on Facebook and Instagram. Meanwhile, Google began removing user-submitted locations in Google Maps within the borders of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus, and will pause new edits. The company said this was done out of an abundance of caution. Google also blocked apps connected with the Russian media outlets RT and Sputnik from the Google Play Store. Apple also made these apps unavailable in the App Store outside of Russia.
Wow. Okay. So, couple things here. Like, no surprise, guys, we've been seeing it all week where big tech is taking positions and taking action, frankly, that has effect and impact on the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. A lot of these social media companies are outright banning or blocking or stopping or deregistering or whatever some of these misinformation accounts, these propaganda accounts. And we've seen the demotion through the algorithm of not spreading these posts. What I find interesting is like the balance between allowing the post to happen, but not allowing it to spread. So you're not violating terms of use because you're allowing the person to post versus just not allowing them to post certain things. It's an interesting gray line, but no surprise. I am surprised, however, that they're rolling out encryption. Like, guys, like, why wasn't it encrypted to begin with? Like, is it because you were sniffing all the traffic? I mean, you can see the posts. So like you can see it on your back end. So I don't know why or your DMs, like, I don't know why. I mean, what's the encryption doing? They still the Meta, Facebook, whatever, they still see the DMs. It's not, I don't know. I don't know. Either why wasn't it encrypted to begin with, or why are they doing it now when only Meta? Well, I guess I don't know if they're suggesting that one of these countries may have the capacity to break in and read DMs on either the client or in the server itself. I'm not sure. But whatever. I just wish that they had encrypted the whole time on DMs. I feel like that's like a good privacy service that they could have offered. Come on now.
There are many misconceptions about security audit. Head to torque.io. That's TORQ.io. Healthcare org hit by 2 ransomware organizations. We've covered the increasing prevalence of ransomware attacks since about day 1 here on Cybersecurity Headlines. It's now reached the point where multiple ransomware organizations are vying for the same victims. An unnamed Canadian healthcare organization was hit by both the Conti and Karma ransomware gangs. Both were operating in the organization's network simultaneously. Karma actors struck first, exfiltrating data and asking for a ransom not to publish it. Conti then struck after, actually encrypting the organization's machines, including ransom notes from Karma. Both gained access to an Exchange server using the same proxy shell exploit.
Interesting. So, okay, so we have seen this before, where multiple threat actors are attacking the same. Thanks for the sub. Multiple threat actors are attacking the same victim, and the threat actors will get on the box and look around and discover the TTPs or the indicators of compromise of other threat actors. What is interesting is typically the way you see it is that the threat actor will boot out or remove whatever artifacts. Like let's say it's me versus BSEC, okay? Just to use a couple names. Like I log in and BSEC's already compromised this machine or this network. I log in and I compromise. I'm using the same vulnerability, Log4Shell or something. I get on the box, I look around, I see BSEC is in there. First thing I do is eradicate all of BSEC stuff. This is hilarious, by the way. I eradicate all BSEC stuff. Then I patch the Log4Shell vulnerability after installing my own backdoor on the system so I can get back in, but BSEC cannot get back in because I, the threat actor, have actually patched the machine. This literally happens, and it's not uncommon. We're seeing a kind of an evolution of this where BSEC has encrypted this person's machine, and now I go in and I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. So then I encrypt the note itself, so the victim can't even speak to the original threat actor. I'd have to read through this a little bit more, but basically that really doesn't help the victim in any way, because now the victim still has their Karma ransom encrypted files and operating systems and stuff like that, or whatever depth they went to with encryption. And they're unable to contact anyone in order to get their files back. So Conti in this case is actually kind of screwing over the victim and screwing over the Karma ransomware group. I don't really see any value unless Conti is now requesting that Karma pay them for the decryption key to decrypt their note so the victim can pay them. It gets a little Inception-like, but this just seems kind of, I don't want to call it unnecessary, but maybe Karma did something that personally upset Conti, went after their victims. This is my turf, bro. I don't know, but that it doesn't seem to be very practical in the way of Conti getting any value out of this. So to me, this feels a little personal.
TBot Trojan brews up new features. Security researchers at Cleafy note that the Android remote access Trojan has gained some new capabilities. As of March 1st, TBot can now target over 400 applications, up from 60, signaling a move to more advanced tactics. TBot initially focused on smishing attacks, attempting to trick people into clicking on malicious links in SMS messages. Researchers also found that TBot managed to infiltrate the Google Play Store through the use of malicious dropper apps. Once installed, TBot operates like other banking Trojans, using accessibility features to overlay login pages, log passwords, and intercept 2FA codes.
Okay, so the more things change, the more they stay the same. This is an Android. Thank you for the sub, Asham. This is a Android mobile device banking Trojan. No big deal. In fact, they call it Trojan, but really it's just straight malware because I don't think it pretends to be anything specific. Basically, the way this attack works is you get a text message on your Android device, whether it's a tablet or a phone, and it says something to the effect of like, hey, your account's been compromised, or would you like to win a free Amazon gift card, or claim your IRS tax return by clicking here. The link is total garbage. You should recognize it as garbage unless the threat actors have good tradecraft and they've somehow managed to get like a great domain name that will fool you, which they probably won't. You click the link, it downloads an APK, which is like an Android application file. It runs, you think, oh, what? I didn't do anything, I don't get it. And now whenever you log into chase.com or Bank of America or whatever, it's literally sitting between you and the app and you can't see it, right? Or it looks exactly the same. And you type in Gerald Auger, password 123, which I assure you is not my password. It sends it, they intercept it, they log in also. If you got MFA, good on you. But like if you're if you're getting a text message or the 6-digit PIN or whatever, you still have to type it in on the phone unless it's asynchronous where you're pushing a button to accept the login. And even then I'd have to think about it because if you don't time it right, if the threat actor is actively trying to log in at exactly the same time as you may actually hit accept twice thinking that you got a double multi-factor when in reality it was the threat actor logging in. Long story short, guys, bad guys are going to go for the money. That's where the money is. You've got to be careful banking on your mobile devices. You got to be careful where you're downloading stuff from. You got to be savvy. Please, this is an opportunity to educate your end users on why they should be using iPhones instead of Androids. I'm joking. Please don't. I know chat's going to blow up on that. The Android family's got a strong following. My point is just educate your end users about smishing and the risk of it. And you can use this as your bank account gets cleaned out, people. That will resonate with end users every time. Believe me.
Security vendors respond to Ukraine crisis. CSO put together a list of security vendor responses to the cybersecurity crisis in light of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Vectra AI offers a slate of free tools and services to those in the conflict region, including scanning of Azure Active Directory, Microsoft 365, and AWS environments for signs of attack and surveillance. SentinelOne is offering its XDR platform free for 90 days. Bitdefender will offer tech consulting and threat intelligence as part of its collaboration with Romania's National Cybersecurity Directorate. CrowdStrike is offering a free tool to decrypt party ticket ransomware, and Cloudflare removed all customer cryptographic data from its servers in Ukraine. Microsoft Defender looks to the bid market.
Wow, guys. So I know you can't really read this because it's like a word wall. But basically what it's saying here is that many cybersecurity companies are basically, this is just like at the beginning of the pandemic when like Zoom was free for everybody, like basically there's a need and companies are pushing aside capitalism, although there is an asterisk around that I'll talk about in a second. But companies are setting aside capitalism and just making their services or some subset of their services free of use to the way I read it is like any individuals, because as CISA has noted in the last couple of days, the United States should be on high alert also for potential attacks, right? This isn't just contained to the Ukrainian Eastern European theater because the internet is the internet and we're on it just the same as they're on it. And things can spill over, in a moment, the target can be moved and the aim can be placed over here. So obviously, people who are in the conflict can take advantage of this as well. It's impressive how many of these are available. Cybersecurity tools, the ability to scan your own devices. SentinelOne's a really good product, right? I don't know what your availability is while you're in the middle of trying to defend yourself, literally from soldiers, to deploy a solution like this across an enterprise. You typically do that in a very controlled, staged way. You don't just push to production unless your name. Okay, so if there's any Carls in chat or part of the Simply Cyber community, I do apologize. Carl is just the name that I throw out there all the time. But only Carl really just pushes straight to production. Not most people kind of like do a pilot with a small subset, verify it doesn't break applications or business, and then they push to production. So you might see some unfortunate downstream impact by people taking advantage of these technologies and screwing up their actual production environment unintentionally because their configuration doesn't allow for it, or it got pushed to every endpoint, including the Windows 7 box that shouldn't be on the network, and that thing blue screen, and now you're whatever, it happened to run your widget maker machine. So appreciate it, but you got to be careful. And then the one thing I will say, again, just because capitalism is a thing, we saw it with Zoom. They gave Zoom away for free to everybody, but then as soon as the free trial for Zoom ended, all these people had basically done a 90-day bake-off or a 90-day proof of concept globally, and then Zoom's now, people sign up because they like Zoom. They've been trying Zoom. And if you look at Zoom's stock price, you can see it zoom to the moon. Guys, I am a dad, so that is a dad joke. Also, really quick, I do want to share, because I did this yesterday. Kevin Thomas, Turbo Scanner, GitHub. See if this comes up. Guys, if you want, I ran this on my own machine. I don't think I have it up right now. Turbo Scanner. If you want to look at your own machine, here, I'll link this in chat real quick. How do I do chat? Hey, mods, I'm dropping this in mod chat. Can you please? Guys, if you want, I ran this thing. Basically, this tool will look at your machine and list all open listening ports. And I know we can do that with Netstat and some other ways, but this is a nice, clean, easy tool that can be run on Windows, Mac, Linux. Its output is nice and clean. I actually did a little screenshot when I ran it yesterday. It took all of 30 seconds, maybe 30 seconds in order for this thing to run and provide results. I don't, oh, there it is. Let me see if I could just show you really quickly if you're interested. I guess it's, look at this. Can I show this? How do I show this? Guys, maybe I could just drop it on here. Whew, look at that. I guess I can do that. So I don't know if you can really see that, but basically, here's the output, and it shows you all these listening services. I certified it fresh. I basically stole Rotten Tomatoes thing. Give it a shot. Take a look at it. I found it to be useful and give you yourself a little bit of peace of mind that you don't have weird stuff running on your machine than you should. Okay. Just a free tool that you can use for personal or corporate use.
This week, Microsoft announced general availability of Defender for Business, which provides anti-malware, EDR, and threat management across desktop and mobile. This is specifically designed for organizations with up to 300 employees. This comes as part of a bigger push for mid-market security offerings from Microsoft. The company also announced the integration of Microsoft 365 Lighthouse with Defender for Business to provide a unified admin portal to view devices, users, and data from managed service providers. Like a nice...
Heck yeah, man. Okay. So I don't know exactly what this is. Like Microsoft has recently gone goofy with all their names. It's like Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Mobile. They're doing this weird thing with all their naming convention. But if this is straight up the Microsoft Defender EDR solution for small and medium-sized businesses for free, this is pretty cool. It obviously gives them market share. It gives them a lot more telemetry to make informed decisions and see a wider swath of what's happening with threat intelligence. But guys, if you're a small business or a mid-sized business, you might not be able to afford these type of things. And you're just, basically running naked on your endpoints, especially the small businesses where they don't even know one way or the other what to do. This is an awesome solution. I would seriously, if you're an MSP and you're supporting a lot of small businesses, if you're a mid-sized business and you work in-house or something like that, guys, check out this Microsoft Defender. I like Microsoft Defender. I think Microsoft's security offering has improved dramatically over the last probably 4 years, as far as quality, as far as efficacy, as far as interface and uses, deployment. Like it's a good product. And guess what? If it's free, like what's your argument against it? Okay, you might even want to consider migrating from like maybe some poor EDR solution that you're using for a for this one instead. Okay, all right, let's keep going.
With mulled wine, the perfect pairing for
Oh.
cybersecurity headlines.
That's it for. Hold on, let me see if I can get my music back. Oh no, hold on, I want my music, guys. Okay, let's do it. Yeah. All right, so that's going to do it for this Thursday, March 3rd's episode of First Things First. Guys, it's Cybersecurity Stream Thursday. I know a lot of you were with Outpost Greg and Jax earlier today. I'm not sure when Java with Josh is happening. I thought that was this morning. I go to Cybersecurity Central on LinkedIn and check it out. They do a really nice job of laying out kind of like the entire itinerary for the week, but also for Thursdays, which is awesome. Later today, I am going to be running a live stream. Chip Harris will be with me as my guest, but we'll be running it together. We'll basically be like a 2-person panel, and we're going to be talking about. You may have heard of the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. You may have heard about this thing that's happening in Eastern Europe. There's been a lot of cybersecurity activity going on, right? Cyber is its own battle domain right now, and we're seeing it play out in a modern conflict. Distributed denial of service, operational security, social media, like Starlink being dropped, Google Maps, malware, wipers. Like there's been a lot of activity. This will be an apolitical discussion, and I'm hoping that it works out where we talk about the technical aspects of whatever the specific attack is that we're talking about. We're going to cover a lot of them. The specific technical piece of it, and then what is the operational value? And that's really where Chip's going to be bringing that perspective, because he was an operator in theaters for a while, and not movie theaters. So please join us at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time today on this channel, Simply Cyber on YouTube. You can go to simplycyber.io/FTF. You can see it kind of in very small, the subline there. That'll take you directly to all the live streams on the channel and get you all sorted out. Guys, it's been an absolute delight. It is Thursday, March 3rd. Thank you all for being here. Sincerely appreciate all of you spending your time with me. And, have a great day. And we'll see you at 4:30 Eastern Time later today. Cheers, everybody.